Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our webinar, A Guide to Cyber and Electronic Warfare. I'm Khaled, and I will be your host for the day. Our speaker for this session, Dr. Kamaruddin Abdul Ghani, Associate Professor, National Defence University of Malaysia. Please note, the session will be in listen-only mode and will last for about 40 minutes, out of which the last 10 minutes will be dedicated for Q&A. Requesting all the participants to post your questions in the Q&A window. Should you need any assistance during the session, please use the chat box. Also, we do have two criteria for certification. First, participants need to attend the complete webinar, fill in the survey and the right answer to the 3 questions based on the webinar, which will be sent to you post the webinar. About our speaker, Dr. Kamaruddin Abdul Ghani is a retired major with years of experience in electronic warfare, where his work focused on communications and signal intelligence. After he left the military service, he worked as RF and R&D Engineer. He earned his PhD in Electrical and Electronic Engineering in 2017. He is a professional engineer with vast experience in RF communications. Currently, he is an associate professor at the Department of Electrical Engineering, National Defence University of Malaysia, with research interest in electronic intelligence and radar signal analysis. Most of his research work is related to RF communications and signal intelligence. He served as the head of department and research fellow at the Cybersecurity Center, NDUM, for 7 years and developed laboratories and a command and control system for teaching and research in electronic warfare and cyber-related operations. I would now like to hand over the session to you. Over to you, Dr. Ghani.
Thank you, Kela. Hello and good day. I'm going to talk about a guide to cyber and electronic warfare. Specifically focuses on the similarity between electronic warfare and cyber warfare, which will lead to the possibility of joint operations. I'll start the talk with some basic definitions, followed by interrelatedness between cyber and electronic warfare. Next, I will talk a bit about a wireless domain, cyber elements in electronic warfare, before move on to the similarities of both units. Then I'll talk about the need for sharing of resources and the feasibility to have one common command and control system for cyber and electronic warfare. In a military organization, electronic warfare and cyber warfare units are traditionally considered as separate entities. Let's start with some definitions so that we are talking in the same frequency. By definition, the goal of electronic warfare is to get in control of the electromagnetic spectrum. The main purpose is to deny the opponent the advantage of and ensure friendly unimpeded access to the electromagnetic spectrum. Cyber warfare is the use of digital attacks, where digital refer to digital electronic, digital transmission, and digital communication. It focused on the use of computer technology to disrupt the activities of a state or organization. Basically, it involves crippling adversaries through information systems and the internet. Network and internet also use the same medium, that is electromagnetic spectrum. So we can see that both cyber and electronic warfare are efforts to dominate aspects of the electromagnetic spectrum. There are 3 main subsets in electronic warfare. First is the electronic support, which supplies necessary intelligence and threat recognition to allow effective attack and protection. It allows commanders to search for, identify, and locate sources of intentional and unintentional electromagnetic energy. Among the activities includes collecting enemies' communication. This includes both message content and traffic data about which units are communicating and recognizing hostile radars and other non-communicating sources of electromagnetic energy. Second is the electronic attack. This section is central to electronic attack. The goal is to mislead the enemy by manipulating his perceptions in order to degrade the accuracy of his intelligence and target acquisition. Some enemy sensors and communication links may be neutralized by jamming activities and disrupting enemy equipment using high power microwave. And last but not least is the electronic protect. Electronic protect, which ranges from maintaining communication security, cryptography, and designing systems that are resistant to jamming. It is also part of protection to protect access to electromagnetic spectrum for friendly forces. There exists an interrelationship between electronic warfare and cyber warfare, where they are sharing the same electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum is the main domain for electronic warfare, while cyberspace operation occurs on network systems. However, cyberspace operation may also involve communication and wireless systems. Therefore, interrelationship between these two domains does exist. They are somewhat related in a way. We could say that the electronic warfare is more significant to the military, and cyber operations is more to civil, like businesses or industries. Therefore, by sharing the same spectrum, interrelatedness between these two units does exist. If one of the units is threatened or attacked, it might affect the other one as well. With current technology, the spectrum is also shared with entities that focus on automation of digital machines and interrelated computer devices like IoT and IR 4.0. This interrelatedness affects everyone. Does not matter whether you are a military or a civilian, businessman or industrial players. Both electronic warfare and cyber warfare may have their own ways in handling operational needs and defensive mechanisms. In military communications, it is usually better to respond to jamming by dropping the bit rate rather than by boosting the power. The civil infrastructure also provides some defensive systems, of which government organizations can make use. Today, with the proliferation of wireless communication, more and more wireless technology has emerged. From short-range communication like the near field communication to longer range, like the satellite-based network, from Wi-Fi and cellular networking to Zigbee, machine-to-machine communication. And this has led to an explosion of research into vulnerabilities of radio-based systems. Developing technologies like the Internet of Things are expected to grow with 5G. There's no doubt that better cybersecurity is essential for our 5G future. More bandwidth with added speed and volume will challenge security teams to create new methods for stopping threats. Due to the fact that Zigbee has a simpler technology and less expensive than wireless personal area networks and Wi-Fi, it is widely used in IoT and Industrial Revolution 4.0. Wireless technology too is used for exchanging data between fixed and mobile devices like Bluetooth. Almost everything needs wireless communication, especially high-level communication protocol that is used to create personal area networks with small low-power digital radios. Through wireless domain, the threats that are attacking the cyberspace may also have the same effect on the electronic warfare. Let's look at some example of the similar threats in cyber and electronic warfare. Starting with deny. This is where an interruption in an authorized user's access to a computer network, typically one caused with malicious intent. Next is disrupt, where it will interrupt an event, activity, or processes by causing a disturbance or problem. This will drastically alter or destroy the structure of something, which may create havoc. In deceive, it will deliberately cause someone to believe something that is not true, especially for personal or organizational gain. Degrade is when an incident happens to lower the performance characteristics of a defense or security system. And lastly, destroy. Damage something so badly that it cannot be used, also known as hard kill. All of these threats are common to both electronic warfare and cyberspace operations. When it comes to services denial attack, both electronic warfare and cyber warfare units are indeed vulnerable. They both may experience similar types of threats. Some examples of threats are denial of service. This includes jamming the spectrum, also known as soft kill in electronic warfare. It can involve mimicry and also could be physical attack. Second is deception. In deception, enemy may create uncertainty and confusion, which may be targeted at automated system or even at people. Third one is exploitation, which include not just eavesdropping, wiretapping, or intercepting, but also obtaining any operationally valuable information from the enemy's use of electronic system. More and more communication systems, especially in signal intelligence, are software-based, also called software-defined radio. This is where components that have been traditionally implemented in hardware, such as mixers, filters, amplifiers, modulators, demodulators, and detectors, are implemented by means of software on a personal computer or embedded system. A basic software-defined radio may consist of a personal computer equipped with analog to digital converter preceded by radio frequency front end. Significant amount of signal processing are handed over to the general purpose processor rather than being done in electronic circuits. Such design produces a radio which can receive and transmit widely different radio protocols based solely on the software used. Presently, software radios have significant utility for the military and cellular phone services, and this make them vulnerable to wide variety of cyber threats. With these software-defined radios and software-defined antennas, they are the enablers of the cognitive radio, where it is a form of wireless communication in which a transceiver can intelligently detect which communication channel are in use and which are not. It is kind of intelligent radio. This optimizes the use of available radio frequency spectrum and minimizes interference to other users. And not only that, transformation of a radar or radio from a receiver to a transmitter can be easily done. With these abilities, more and more communication systems are into cognitive radios. Since they are software-driven devices, they are exposed to malware threats. Similarity of threats has led to the idea of sharing common resources. Sharing common resources between units under the same organization may not be complicated, though there may be some conflicts between the two units involved. With proper management and change of command, sharing of resources may help in shortage of manpower and could eliminate unnecessary redundancies. Furthermore, better results could be achieved in joining efforts, such as in handling crises and incidents where information sharing is maximized. As they say, two is better than one. There is no doubt that joint effort, or we could call it convergence, between these two units does come with challenges. It is normal that conflicting issues are bound to happen between converging units. Issues like territorial conflicts, leadership, and expertise are among them. Typically, in electronic warfare, the main power is having expertise in engineering and communication, while the cyberspace operations are mostly people with IT and security background. The issues of who's in charge, who is responsibility, and job scope could be tackled with proper planning and good management. Each unit to focus on a specific domain and working together as a team. A proper chain of command will ensure the smooth management and operational of the command and control system. Successful electronic warfare depends on the using of available tools in a coordinated way. Electronic weapon systems like sensors such as radar, infrared, and sonar, as well as communication links, take sensor data to the command and control center. Conventionally, electronic warfare and cyber warfare units both have their own command and control system. Having this similarity in terms of threats and vulnerabilities, and the wireless system are sharing the same electromagnetic system. Both units may share the same command and control system. This joint command and control system would allow databases and information sharing between the two units. It will also serve as mutual support in handling incidents or counter threat analysis. And information exchange between the two units would be much easier, especially in finding solutions or even in decision making. A commander may get relevant inputs from both units pertaining to any threats or vulnerabilities, which in turn may help in making the right decision. With a joint command and control system, electronic warfare and cyber warfare units can complement each other in ensuring the security for the organization based on the system resources available. For example, in security monitoring, electronic warfare may focus on sector monitoring, while cyber warfare concentrates on network monitoring. Available sensors in electronic warfare may assist cyberspace operations on wireless network monitoring. This will enable defensive and offensive operations to be conducted within both domains, electromagnetic and cyberspace. Joint operations between electronic warfare and cyber warfare are feasible by having the same command and control system. It consists not only electronic warfare, but several other cyber-related subsystems to provide inputs for handling incidents or operational planning. By having a common command and control system, both units, electronic warfare and the cyber team, may work together hand in hand. Furthermore, a common command and control system would allow easier information and intelligence sharing, and this would lead to a successful and fruitful operations. The understanding is that the electronic warfare may be responsible for wireless related issues and cyber unit on the network system. With this basic understanding, both units may complement each other, whether in a defensive or offensive operations. Thank you. That is the end of my presentation. I would like to thank EC Council University for the opportunity to present in this cyber talk. Again, thank you. I will be around for questions.